Up here, and today on our breakfast menu we are having some beautiful game that has been going top and also known of being played by the Indians and the other colors, but also in Uganda we have the best players that include, when you hear the name Sir Joseph Sebatindra, definitely you would know that we are having the table tennis president in the building today, who will be giving us more highlights on what is going on in the world of tennis. Welcome to the breakfast meeting. Good morning, President.
Good morning, Nicole.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
How is table tennis moving on? So far we have been so lost. It's been some months. You've been away from us. You've been hiding from media.
Well, first of all, the National League ended. That is number one. And since that time, we've been heavily promoting the young ones. You know, in our game, people think everything is supposed to be for the senior players. So when you divert resources to the young ones, it's a bit like you're not doing much. You're not having a lot of activity. But from the time when the league ended in February up to today, we've had a lot of activities for the young ones. For example, we sent Sir Joseph Sebatindra to Europe, where he came back as world number one. Then we've had our team that went to Botswana. So we've had a lot of activity. Only that, of course, the league, I think, which was regular news and more regular activity, more scheduled activity, it ended, and that's the truth. Maybe that's why we are a little inactive.
On the menu today, definitely, in the breakfast meeting, we have to enter in the due course of what we have on table today. Let's talk about the past 6 months, the achievements, and what has been going on.
In the last 6 months, first of all, we are extremely happy that we had a national league that started and ended very successfully. All the days were very successful. You know, in 2017, we had a league, but it did not end.
Wow.
So there was a problem there, so some people got demoralized. But this time, we're able to run it from the beginning to the end. Actually, by the time we even started the league, the prize money was already there. The organization money was there. So that's why it moved very smoothly. But most importantly for us, it was on NBS Sport, which is on worldwide broadcast. So people were seeing the league even as far as Europe, as far as Asia, as far as Oceania. People were watching because it was on Afro mobile app, which belongs to NBS Sport, and people were able to watch from all over the world. So that was a very important step for us. And then after the league, we went into a period for Sir Joseph Sebatindra, where we took him to Europe, and he first of all went to Poland, then he went to Sweden, then he finished with Norway. Now, he returned as the world number one.
Wow.
Number one in the whole world. And I think he's the only African player on that list.
You sound a proud president of him.
No, we are very excited and very happy. It has never happened in the history of table tennis that we have a world number one. The greatest achievement we had was with my senior, Mr. Molinda Francis, one of the former presidents, who had Olympians. But of late, I'm telling him that you're not going to the Olympics and becoming world champion. Which one? Which is heavier? Yes, these ones are young, yours were old. But when you win and you are a world champion, then you have people who just went to the Olympics and then they came back. Which is heavier? So that's a debate I will have with my very good friend,
definitely,
Mr. Molinda
that would
Francis.
be a debate that would have another day. So now, the past 6 months, we have heard of Joseph and what has been going on. Now, about the upcoming activities and the different events that are coming up in the association.
Maybe something else that you need to understand is that in the last 6 months, something very interesting happened. Okay. And one of the key activities we have coming up is the Africa Senior Championships. That is like the AFCON of table tennis. These football people and their top competition. But for us, ours is called the Africa Senior Championship. On that team, there is Sir Joseph Sebatindra, a 9-year-old boy.
Definitely.
And we held trials. We are not putting him there simply because we want to expose him. No. We held trials. He was number 3. Then in the ladies, we have another one called Patience Anyango. In July this year, we went to Botswana and we played the Africa Senior Championship. That was the first time for Uganda to take a team, a full team of young ones. In our entire history, it had never happened. Okay. So when we came back, Patience Anyango was the Africa champion, under 11. the new Africa champion, Patience Anyango. Now, those two are on the team going to Ethiopia.
Okay.
So, in terms of the upcoming activity,
Yeah,
I think we need to appreciate also where we are coming from. And again, these two people, Joseph and Patience, just about 3 weeks ago, we had a competition for the young ones, the under 11,
Okay.
at Railways Primary School, which is in Zambia, just opposite Sharing Youth Center. Now, these two again emerged as number 1 and number 2, Patience and Joseph. So they are the number 1, seed 1 for Uganda. Also seed 1 is also Patience, Joseph and Patience Anyango. Now, both of them are on the team that is going to Ethiopia. That's one of the immediate upcoming activities, which is just this Friday, actually. So we're supposed to be heading out to Ethiopia with a team of 7 people. Those are 3 men, 3 ladies, and 1 coach. So those people, they already have their tickets, so they are waiting to board the plane. And then, of course, the other upcoming activity we have is we have an elective General Assembly going on that is going to happen in Ethiopia next week on Wednesday. And I'm still 50-50 about standing. I submitted my name for one of the positions. I'm still 50-50. But I think that is also a very wonderful activity because it is going to change the fate of table tennis in Africa. Because for the first time, we are going to have new leaders of the sport in Africa. I've also been regional vice president for the table tennis sport on the Eastern Bloc of Africa. I have stood down from that position because I want to go to the executive board. That's another important development for our sport. And it will, well, that's a defining moment for Africa because we are going to choose people who will either lift our sport or just keep it where it is or even go down. So I think it's also a very pivotal moment for us. It's a key moment for the development of table tennis on African soil. And of course, we have to be very careful with this because if we make wrong decisions, then that's going to cost us. That's next week also.
That is happening in the course of the week?
Yeah, next week on Wednesday is when we have that, that elective General Assembly. Definitely,
that is what will be going down in the association of about the upcoming events now. You talked about the children, the team will be traveling, a team of 7, right?
Yeah.
Has the government been so supportive? Have you already gotten the money? Because the fact that you mentioned that the team is already having their tickets and ready to board to travel, has the government been that supportive? Is it an association that would say government has been there?
To be honest, we haven't yet received government funding since the financial year started.
Okay.
That's the truth of the matter. Government funding has not come through. It is, of course, very interesting because the Ministry of Finance released 132 billion Uganda shillings for the sports sector, and our federations have 0. Just a few, like football, got some money, like 8 billion, because they are preparing for their AFCON. You can imagine they are in preparations for AFCON. For us, we are actually going for the Africa Senior Championships, and we have no money. These ones are just preparing, train, and they have money. For us, we don't have, and yet we need much less than them. Then the other money went to pay, I think, the AFCON license, because they said that this license must be paid immediately. So they took the money and they paid the AFCON license, 112 billion. Recently, I was asking them on our sports forum, on our president's forum, but couldn't you pay like 100 billion? Then the balance also caters for our other federations. And some of them inboxed me and they said, no, it had to be paid at once. Then I said, can you show me the rule? That you cannot explain that, look, we don't have money. There are also our other brothers who need money. Let's give you 100. Next quarter, we shall pay the balance.
Then, Mr. Jagwe, how is the association surviving? Because you made a statement and said that already the children have their tickets, the team, the players have their tickets. Then how is the association surviving without money? Do you have other fundings or?
Well, of course, we have other sources of funding. But like I normally tell people, the national team of table tennis is the team of Uganda. It's not a Jaguar Roberts team. By the way, when we are going out of Uganda, we are not even a UTTA team. We are the national table tennis team of Uganda. So the person with the primary responsibility here is the government of Uganda. Now, again, we told players we don't have money, and I want to really thank our players, their coaches, and their supporters, their sponsors. These players have gotten air tickets. We actually told them, please go and try to look for these air tickets. And they've gotten them. We have 7 air tickets. 3 men, 3 ladies, and 1. They have air tickets. They have bought them. They're just waiting to board the plane and go.
Should we say that UTTA is an association that can stand even if the government funds delay, just as it has done right now?
Now,
Because
I think
you have tried to put in to see that the team travels even without the funding, which is not happening in other federations. Should we say you can stand?
well, the truth of the matter is we have people with good hearts.
Wow.
For example, there is one of our sisters called Mary Musoke. She has gotten 6 air tickets for her players. We have Jonathan Senyonga is the other player who is known from the Nakasero Table Tennis Club of Mary Musoke. He also got assistance. I've heard there is City Tires somewhere. I heard there is Cyrus Mwanga somewhere. I've heard there are even some other private sponsors. So really, we have people who are appreciating that our game is performing well and they are willing to help us. And for example, even me myself, for example, this team that went to Botswana, the one where Patience came back as the Africa champion, I am the one who gave them my own money. So I must say that the game of table tennis, we have people who can help from inside. And we are very lucky to have such people who can support because they step in these times when the government has delayed a bit. But to be honest, normally in the first quarter, government also has some challenges, but they normally come through in the second quarter. So I must say, maybe we may say government has delayed, but they normally come through, which is a good thing. So I think they will come through, but of course we have to appeal to many of our leaders, even our fellow sports federation presidents. We need to have some fairness, really. Like I've told you with this man of FUFA, it is so unfair. It's unbelievably unfair. 120 billion taken by one sport called football. Ours, we are 51 federations. For us, we have nothing. They say, you wait, wait, there is AFCON. I think it is so unfair. We need this balance, and we need to agree as brothers and sisters in one family. Otherwise, the unfairness, we are all taxpayers. This is what I keep telling people. We are all taxpayers. I have come here, I haven't walked. I drove my car. When I buy fuel, I pay tax. When I service my car, I pay tax. So that tax money is the one that we all use. So you can't take it as one person and you say, this one I am entitled. Because we all pay it as one country. So we need this balance, but then also we need to make sure that we don't kill the talents of these young players.
Okay.
If I tell you Sir Joseph Sebatindira is a 9-year-old boy.
But how many
marvel.
years is Sebatindira going to be 9? That's a question for another day.
No, I can answer it. You see, people don't understand. The boy has so many results within a short time. So they think he has been 9 for the last 2-3 years. His birthday is in December.
He's making 10.
He's making 10 in December. All these things he has gotten have been in a space of about 4, 5, 6 months.
So next year when you come here, he's going to be 10, not 9 again.
Yes.
So then how many Sebatindiras are you going to bring? Because now you have the SARS Sebatindira, and then you have the
Patience
girl, Patience, who is now?
Her Majesty, Patience Anyango. Yeah. Sir Joseph Sebatindira and Her Majesty.
Away from the delay of these funds that you didn't mention how it is affecting the calendar of the UTTA, that at some point you guys are trying to make ends meet even without these funds. How are you going to bring up other Sebatindiras? Because now he's getting out of the age of 9. He's going to 10, which means so soon he'll be making to the youth age. How many Sebatindiras are you planning to bring up again?
We have a lot of upcoming Sebatindiras and we have a lot of upcoming Patience Anyangos. Her Majesty. You see, for example, there is a coach in Iganga called Isaac Bagea. This is a club called Iganga TT Kids.
Wow.
It's a club in Iganga down there in the village called Nabitende. When we called this championship 3 weeks ago at Zambia, his players from deep down there emerged as number 2 and number 3. There is one called the Shanita. That one was number 3. Then there's another one called the Chirawa, I think, Judith. That one was number 2. From that club down there, those are players who have developed in a space of about 2-3 years. So you can see that those coaches have heard our message. They have gone back to the young ones, and they are really bringing them up. Then we have also, even at Slam Ping Pong itself, that club where we played from is called Slam Ping Pong. It was meant to help children in the slums be in school via the allure, the attraction of table tennis. So that club also has a boy called Alan Wetogo. He was number 2 in that championship. Now that's another 17 leader coming up. So we are really thankful to these coaches. That Slam Ping Pong has coaches like Yasin, coaches like Ola James. They are really doing a very good job. Isaac Bagaya. We have Seremba Julius, also of TT Kids, doing a very wonderful job with these young ones. All those are upcoming players, and they are really, really good. They are really, really good. So we are not worried about how many Josephs will come up, because now people, in the past, Nicole, UTTA was not paying attention to the young ones.
Okay.
So it was mainly the senior players. But now that we've focused on the young ones, and people have listened to our message, now people have gone back to the young ones in primary school. So we have a full squad of, I think, about 15 who I know are very, very good, and so many others. I think that number is about 120, because if I add all of them in the different clubs, from the statistics of the coaches, there are about 120 children in primary school that are coming up at a very high rate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Table tennis is so much in schools, and that is the beauty about the game. And the question is, you have cried out, you have told the world what the association is going through, and let's say, because the money will definitely come anytime, any day. What are the main areas of concentration and growth development in the UTTA in case the money comes in this financial year?
I think we have 4 main areas of focus this coming financial year.
Okay.
The first area of focus is to strengthen the primary table tennis section.
Okay.
Because it has been absent, it has been almost non-existent. So we are going to strengthen it to make sure that we have a properly developed program of young ones, and they know that it has the full support of Uganda Table Tennis Association. So this is one of our first points of focus this financial year. The second one, we are also going to promote this sport called TTX. TTX is spinless table tennis. This table tennis of the Patience and Joseph and Judith, and now that one is for what you call spinning the ball.
Okay.
So the racket has to have rubbers that can spin the ball. Now TTX, the X means no more spinning.
Okay.
So the spinning is not there. This one of the rubbers takes 3 to 5 years to learn.
Okay.
The one of TTX takes just 1 to 3 months, and you've learned.
All right.
So we are saying the world is moving faster. Our sport needs to also have different versions of table tennis. Just like in football, you have the 11-a-side, the normal football we see every day. Then we have the futsals. They have come up of about 5 people playing and 10 like that. Then we have beach soccer. So even us in table tennis, we are saying, let's have a different version of table tennis called TTX, and which is faster to learn. You know, Nicole, people don't have time anymore.
Yeah.
If you give them things that take a lot of money, a lot of time to learn, they just switch off.
A lot.
Yeah, they just switch off. So we have a new version of table tennis called TTX, which can be learned in just 1 to 3 months. Of course, last year when we got money, we were not even sure we would get the money. So our planning was not so accurate like this time. When we know we are going to get the money, so the planning is better. Then number 3, we want to bring on board corporates.
Okay.
That's another focus for us. Because, last year when the money came, we wanted to help the old people who have been in the sport, who have been suffering so much when there's no money. So we said, let's divert almost all the money to those people to help them to appreciate that government has given them money to enjoy their sport.
Wow.
Now this year we are now saying, in order to continue developing this game, we need sponsors. Those are the corporates. So we are going to also target the corporates as part of our key focus areas. Then number 4, we are also going to target the international schools.
Wow.
Because the international schools also, they are like corporates. They can help bring in some money to help, some of our people who are financially struggling. We need to get some money from somewhere to help these people who are really, really struggling. If you look at the family of Sir Joseph and the family of Her Majesty Patience Anyango, you realize they are really financially challenged. They need help, really. They have the talent, but they need help. Wow. So the association this year must focus on how to create financial revenue to be able to help these other players that need that revenue.
Wow, that's so beautiful about the financial year. That is so beautiful on what you put on the drawing board now. Lastly, I have a question for you. Sir Joseph, your boy, who will be traveling in November for the Rising Shining Star, right?
Yeah.
How big is that he's going to be in this camp for days?
I think, the first thing I want to tell people who are listening to us is that marketing is an important part of our sport. I can assure you, Sir Joseph Sevatindira would be nowhere if we were not marketing him. But because we've marketed him so well, first of all, he was invited to what we call the Rising Stars training camp in Sweden. Then now he has been invited to the Shining Stars training camp in Sweden. So that means our friends in the International Table Tennis Federation, they realized in May this year, he was still rising. But now they appreciate that he's now shining.
Wow.
Now that is the first thing that I think we can get from here. That the boy is now shining. It's unbelievable. So he will be in a training, very high level training. And he will be with his coach, Alvin Katumba, and hopefully the other one called Tendo Baliewunya. Because we realize that both of them can be supported by the ITTF. So we shall try to send both. Now the coaches will be, Joseph is a young boy. Yeah. So there are many things he has not yet grown up to understand very well. But the coach, who is more mature, will be there. So Joseph will be improving on his skill and talent. Okay. Even the coach will be improving on his coaching skills, which is now very important for our players back here in Uganda. Because the coach is getting more and more knowledge. Wow. Both the coaches, Alvin Katumba and Tendo Mary Baliewunya.
They're going to travel as well.
Yes, we are pushing for both of them to go. Because they need this knowledge. And you can see these players are their players from Nakasero Table Tennis Club, which is my former school, by the way.
Wow.
Yes, I was in Nakasero. So there are some good ghosts there. Because there is some good history that is following us. I was there from P1 up to P7, and I got aggregate 4 in PROE.
Should we ask for the results?
Please. I like reminding people so that they know what sort of brain they are.
As we are concluding this.
So I really want to thank our friends of Africa Table Tennis Federation. They are still finalizing how to support our team to go to Paraguay. Because in Paraguay, they are the World Hopes Championships in November. Then after that, they're supposed to go to the Shining Stars. Now, again, that needs money. But the training is important, so we shall try our best to see how we can support.
Wow, that is beautiful. We'll be wishing him luck wherever he is going so that, whenever he gets something big, it is always the Ugandan flag up. And then lastly, Mr. Jagwe, there is a way you baptize these children, Sir and Her Majesty. Where do you get these names from? According to their performances or what?
I mean, has the world of table tennis, the world over, has any Ugandan sport ever seen a 9-year-old world champion? Please, if you have them, you bring them here on NBS Sport.
Your last words to the viewers.
Uganda has never seen a 9-year-old champion. When I called him Sir Joseph, they said, but sir, people started to complain. Then I added on his accent. But the boy is excelling. Now, Patience, you can imagine from nowhere, she goes to her first international championship. That was her first time on an aeroplane. She comes back as the Africa champion. Wow. If that is not Her Majesty, who is she?
Thank you so much, Mr. Jagwe.
So really, I want to say thank you very much. And to our friends of NBS Sport, you have been very supportive. There are some things that we wouldn't have achieved if we didn't have this published on NBS Sport. So we are very thankful. The people who are supporting our players really at Nakasero, even we have our friend called Mr. John Seboa from the USA. He contributed to some of the facilitation of this team going to Ethiopia. These people are really excellent. I want to thank them so much from the bottom of my heart. People like Cyrus Mwanga, people like City Tires, whom I've had, people like I think even Shell. Shell has supported this time even in the past. So we really want to thank these people, and I want to assure them, as my final word, that in table tennis we know what to do. The first time government gave us money, we have a world champion, we have an Africa champion, we know what to do. You cannot support table tennis and you get disappointed. So please, we want to encourage people to trust us and come and support us financially to take their brands and our sport to a higher level.
You heard it from Mr. Jagwe himself, the president, who said it out. He sounds to be a very, 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 very proud leader about his children, the way they are performing. Here on NBS Sport Breakfast Meeting, we bring you different federations and we get inside on what is going on in the association or in their federations. My name has been Nicole Apia. This has been a lovely breakfast, and let me take you back to normal programming. NBS Sport, this Independence Week, we are bringing you so many new things. The only thing you need to do, tighten your seatbelts